This is Boxing Tickets NI in association with that prize guy. I'm delighted to be joined on Fight Week once again by the governor, Tommy Hyde. How are you?
All good, Stephen, yourself?
I am fantastic. A busy weekend, just done the thousandth interview in just over 5 years, so buzzing like a Cheshire cat, as they'd say.
Yeah, some going by in fairness to you. You're putting the work in all the time. There's interviews going up there, left, right, and centre, in fairness to you.
I'm sure you're fed up seeing the messages in the WhatsApp group and going, there's another interview and going, where's he getting these all from?
I listen to them on Spotify there when I'm driving, so it's handy enough, like, you know what I mean? I'm always in the car, so I'd be listening away.
I was just saying to you just before we started there, obviously you done your vlogs for or vlogs or blogs or whatever you call them nowadays for your fight in Australia. And for
Yeah,
anybody that's obviously subscribing to your YouTube channel, they'll be going, where's Tommy Hyde went to? He just disappeared off the scene.
I know, I have gone quiet on it, but I was actually meaning to do one while I was in Manchester training, but I didn't do it, obviously. So I'll probably get one in Valencia now, or Villarreal. I'll get one there now, one or two, anyway, see what the crack is over there.
Yeah, people will be relieved to see that because I love the content and I don't just say it for the sake of it. It's good to see
That's it.
sometimes the insight because, as you well know, Tommy, sometimes people only see you whenever you're making weight, you're watching your fight or your interviews afterwards. They don't see all the other behind the scenes as they call it. So they don't see all the other
Yeah,
parts. They're probably
yeah.
people seeing things of you they didn't know. Obviously, your love of coffee, your love of good food, your love of a lack of sleep, your love of traveling. So people's getting a good insight into who Tommy Hyde is.
I definitely love a cup of coffee anyway. And the food. This fight is actually at light heavyweight on Saturday, so I can still enjoy my food now for this week. But yeah, I'm happy enough with that too. But I love a good cup of coffee. Yeah.
Does that make it easier for you? Obviously, when the fight's at like light heavy, like is it at 175 or is it like more than 3 pound over super middleweight that's in class as light heavy? What weight?
Well, the opponent is the light heavyweight, so it's going to be at I think 175. But as I was saying to one of the lads earlier, like if it was at 86 kilos, I'd still struggle because you're going to leave it last minute all the time. You know what I mean? But not the way it's grand, it's spot on. Couple of pounds over, and it's grand and handy. You know what I mean? I'm still enjoying my food and stuff like that, and training away. So I'm looking forward to Saturday now.
You obviously you want to leave it as late as possible. Sometimes making weight because you want to look good in the scales as well. You don't want to be looking as if you got a wee flabby belly and things like that. You don't want to look bad in the scales. So that's why there's still a good bit goes into it.
Yeah, definitely. I'd often get about a 4 pack for the scales, and then by the time the fight comes, I have a belly already. So I'm gone soft around the belly then after the weigh-in. But yeah, no, all is on track now. All is good, and looking forward to the next couple of days.
I guess we obviously haven't obviously I spoke to you last time you were down under in Australia, obviously preparing for the fight. Obviously, unfortunately, I don't think too many people here at home got to see the fight, but like I guess it took you a lot longer in traveling, a lot longer in sort of preparation than obviously the fight night ended. But like a crazy atmosphere. Obviously, you fought in Australia the first time as a pro. Like a lot of memories to sort of take away from it.
Yeah, to be honest, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity and trip. I have a lot of friends living over there and met a lot of new friends over there, and it's definitely somewhere I'll be going back to in the future, hopefully soon. But it was a great atmosphere. I sold like 200 tickets, which is good going. Like some people don't sell that at home, and the only reason I sold that is just because I'm an Irishman fighting and they're coming out supporting you. So we get great support. My ring walk was probably the worst ring walk I've had. They put on some rap song about it just wasn't me. You know what I mean? I had an Irish song lined up, and I think the crowd would have loved that one. But it was a little bit of an anticlimax with the ring walk. But look, the fight was a handy enough one. In the end, I would have liked a bit more from the opponent. But look, I caught him with a good shot, a good left hook, and that was it really. I thought the ref. I was hoping the ref might leave it go another little bit, but the opponent didn't really want any more. But look, we move on out to Saturday. I know it's not an easy fight on Saturday, so I'm ready for 8 hard rounds, and I'm hoping it doesn't last 8 hard rounds. But no, I've been training very hard, and I'm ready to go on out for the next one.
Just want to recap something you said there. You're just an Irishman. You're not just an Irishman, Tommy. Like, I think like you sort of have the perfect sort of blend of everything a sort of up and coming fighter needs to be. You're always very bubbly, always down, having a laugh. You're very, very talented. So it's not just you're an Irishman. I think people are buying into the governor. I think I'm classing it as the governor's travels because like you fought in Australia for the first time, you're now fighting in Spain for the first time this weekend. Like
Yeah.
it's the governor's travels. Is it called the governor's travels? It's now the governor's travels.
Yeah. No, it's great that we're able to do this, and very lucky that we're able to do it. Get great support off my sponsors, off our own family bar in Cork, Hannah Bonds. That I wouldn't be able to do this without that, and obviously the family I have behind me, and the support I get. We're bringing like 25, 30 people over from Cork over to this one. My cousin Alan is coming over from Boston just for this fight. He's only missed one fight now in my career so far. He's living in Boston, and the only one he missed was Australia. And it's unreal the support I get, and I'm very, very lucky to have that support. And I showed again in Australia. New people that had never met me before came out and supported me, and we had a great night. It was a pity the fight lasted only a minute and a half or 2 minutes, whatever, but we had a good night afterwards. We went to an Irish bar afterwards in Melbourne city centre, and we had a great night. Good crack with good people, like, so it was a great night, and I know Saturday is going to be the same.
You were sort of touching there, obviously, on your opponent on Saturday night, Marcos Rodriguez de Barrios. He's nearly more names than we could ever
I
pronounce.
think it's just Marcus de Barros, but the couple in the middle there will definitely throw you off. Like,
I think maybe he's a couple of his favorite football players, Vinicius
yeah,
Junior and the Rodriguez, a Colombian. So he's maybe likes a
yeah.
couple of footballers, putting the names in the huddle. You were saying you're expecting a tough fight. He's obviously based in Germany, originally from Brazil. What do you know of him? I know sometimes you leave it down to Lee and your dad and things like that, but what do you know of him that you're expecting a tough fight?
Well, as far as I know, he's actually living in Brazil. Um, he's had one loss to a German. The German looks like a big puncher. That was his last fight, and he actually hurt the German in that fight. But look, it's another look. He's about 6'3", so the same height as me. So I don't think I've fought anyone the same height as me yet as a pro. So that'll be good. And I'm just looking forward to it. Looking forward to another style. See what he brings to the table. And I'm in great shape. I've been getting great sparring over in Manchester there and training with Lee and stuff. But the lads in the gym have given me great sparring. I was sparring with Brad Ray. I've got top class sparring over the last 5-6 weeks. Actually, I came back from Australia, and the next week I was over helping him try for his fight. So I've been sparring non-stop. I'm in great shape. I couldn't be in better shape. I think this is the best I've felt before a fight, and the fittest I felt. And I'm looking forward to showing Saturday, show the improvements all the time, and give a good win, good performance.
I think you've been sparring obviously quite a lot of people. Obviously, Brad Ray, unfortunately, has obviously had quite a tough time of it recently. Like, obviously,
Yes.
you'd have been great sparring for Brad, obviously, in preparation for his European title fight. Like, do you look at the sparring now and you start to picture yourself where you're fighting for European title, where you're in these bigger nights? Like, as you say, your stablemate obviously was fighting on the matchroom card. Do you sort of look at these next sort of steps for Tommy Hyde now?
Yeah, 100%. Like, even when I went over for Troy's fight, I was doing the corner release. So I was in the ring waiting for Troy to come out, and you see, I don't know what was in that arena, but there was a good couple of thousand there, and the buzz was unbelievable. And I was just like, "This is where you want to be." I was trying to make it about myself, and I was just like, "Oh, this is where you want to be." But I understand. Myself and my dad had a plan when I turned pro first to get the record up, fight where we need to fight, and build the record, and then we go for the big fights, the big promote or fight on the big shows against the tougher opponents. But look, saying that, I do have a tough fight ahead now Saturday, and I know you have to be switched on for every single fight because you see some people there are getting beat by fellas they shouldn't be getting beat by, and that just derails the whole plan. But we had a plan when we turned pro to get the record up there, 14, 15 and 0, and then go into the big fight. So we're 11 and 0 now. Hopefully another 3 fights this year, 3 or 4 fights, and then we're ready to go next year for the big fights. And I'll get my opportunity then under the bright lights on TV in the big crowds and stuff like that. But it was great. It was very motivating watching Troy. I know he didn't get to win, but he gave a good performance. Some little mistakes he made that he can adjust and come back better again. But that was very motivating being in there watching him doing his thing and the crowd there as well. Like, that's where I want to be. That's the stage I want to be fighting on, and we're building towards that all the time.
You weren't thinking of doing what you were doing in America with your wee dance moves. Remember obviously after your fight, you were doing your dance moves. You never think of doing that to warm the crowd up.
To be honest, if he got to win, I don't know what I might have done a few dance moves and stuff like that. But I was getting well into the fight, and it was a good and entertaining fight too. So if he did get to win, I would have been doing more than dance moves. I don't know what I would have been doing.
Probably WWE moves. You and Troy would be thinking he's an Undertaker and Stone Cold Steve Austin running about
Yeah,
wrecking the place.
I probably would have just got up on the ropes myself and made it about myself. Like do all,
Get a couple
it
of
would have been
get a
all
couple of cans
who's
of
the
beer and
man.
do the Stone Cold smashing the cans.
To be saying who's the man there, but yeah, I'd have to try make it about myself.
Obviously, I know with you being a big boxing fan, obviously, away from being a fighter and stuff as well. Looking forward to Crawford Canelo in September. Like, I'm sure if your dad, if like ideally, like you said to your dad, any chance to get me on this card, maybe to see if you having to pay your way there. But looking forward to watching that. Like, what's your opinion on Crawford Canelo?
Yeah, well, first when I heard about it, I was kind of saying like Canelo's just too big. I know Crawford's unbelievable. Don't get me wrong, and he just had a little bit of a tougher fight against Madrimov going up at the weight. I know it's gone up two more weights, and Canelo's a big puncher at that weight, at super middleweight. So you're wondering like how will he take that? But as it gets closer now, I'm getting more excited for it. I'm kind of getting more interested in it. I do fancy Canelo late stoppage, but people go on about the mindset Crawford has, and he's a winner, and you never know. Like there's stranger things have happened, but I find it hard to see a Crawford win. Even though Canelo's not coming off a great performance himself against William Skull, but yeah, Canelo. I just think he's too big, too strong for him, and he has a lot of experience as well. Canelo does.
It's crazy to think Canelo started as a professional at 15. He's more than half his life now as a professional boxer. It's unbelievable.
Crazy. I'd be wondering like when are these fellas going to stop? Like what else do you want? Like you're after winning absolutely everything. You're after making millions and millions. What else do you want? But look, fair play to them. It's some mindset they have to be able to like fly Mayweather, make all this money. You're after winning everything, achieving everything you want to achieve, and you're still showing up in the gym, still training, still like some of the sessions there. I don't want to do them, but like you have to do them. Do you know what I mean? I haven't achieved what I want to achieve, but they have, and they're still doing them sessions. So you have to take your hat off to them.
Definitely. It keeps you still as keeps them still as role models too when you see they can do it for so long. Like was Crawford three is he three weight undisputed or two weight
Two
undisputed?
weight. I think it's a record now if he wins this one because he'd be three weight undisputed then.
Yeah, which is unbelievable. Finally, obviously, before I let you go, because obviously I know your missus is coming and you're going to get your last coffee before your fight night.
Yeah.
Obviously, Brandon, obviously now training with Manny Pacquiao. Like that man has dipped on it.
Yeah, it's a great experience for him. Like Manny Pacquiao is like top five pound for pound of all times, an absolute legend. And I've never got, I've met nearly all of them, but I've never met Pacquiao. I've met I've been in the wild card loads of times as a child with Riggando, and I've sparred there myself when I got older. But it's an unbelievable gym. So Brandon's very lucky to be in there. Do you know what I mean? And it's a privilege to be in that gym and be surrounded by them. And yeah, it's a great experience for him.
I'm not sure if he said he was looking at hoping like getting a spar with him. I'm not sure if he's done that. He keeps going walkies on us, doesn't he, Tommy? He'll speak this for a couple of days and then he'll be away traveling himself, skinny dipping in Mexico, and he'll tell us he's going to spar him, and then we don't see anything. But what a privilege and an honor, I guess. Like your role model, your favorite fighter ever, and you're getting to spar them. Like who's your favorite fighter, and like is there still a chance that you could spar them?
Sugar Ray Leonard, I wouldn't mind sparring him. Be a handy spar. I don't know. I don't know. I've my favorite fighter changes every week. To be honest, I really like Roberto Duran. But obviously I wouldn't be sparring Roberto Duran. Like, and I say he's still a handful. Did you ever see him sparring Nigel Benn there? And he's out of shape. He's fat, and he's still outboxing Ben and out fighting him too.
And his hands are massive.
He's unbelievable. Yeah, it's a great experience for even being around the gym with Pacquiao. Do you know what I mean? Seeing what he's doing and what he's up to, and I can only imagine the aura of him. Like I heard when he's going training, there's 30, 40 people around with him. So that's a spectacle in its own. Like never mind sparring him, great experience.
Do you think you could ever have like an entourage going about with that many? Like we've seen it with Floyd and we see it with Tyson
Nah,
Fury and stuff as well. Like they have that many people going about. Like you imagine trying to warm up for your fight, you'd be exhausted with so many people in the room.
nah. Yeah, you would. I just think it's a bit silly, In my opinion, it's a bit silly. I wouldn't have 30 or 40 people around me anyway. I like my company. No, all right, but like one or two at a time. Like, how can you talk to 40 people? Like there's too many conversations going on there, and you'd be just like, oh, give me a break. Like, but yeah, it's unreal. It's unreal. Pacquiao is something else. I'm not sure how he'll do with Barrios now. It's obviously there's a lot of uproar about it, but it's Barrios is a good champion, but he's probably the easiest of the welterweights. But you'd still fancy him to be Pacquiao, I think, at this age.
Yeah, definitely. Finally, I was before we get you go. Obviously, I know when I put your fight week post out yesterday, I was saying you're in 4 stoppages in a row. Are we looking at number 5 this weekend? Like, is that ideally what you want, or would you want the 8 rounds? Like, I guess you probably would be happy again if it's not done in less than 2 minutes in the first round, but aiming for another stoppage this weekend.
Yeah, another stoppage now would be lovely. I wouldn't be complaining with that. But look, it is what it is. I just get in, do the business, and if it's 8 rounds or 1 round, I'll be happy. Yeah, a good win, a good performance, and obviously, you always want the knockout. You always want the knockout, but and this fight's no different. But I know it's not an easy opponent, but yeah, I fancy my chances. I fancy a good stoppage.
Have we anywhere streaming it this weekend?
I'm waiting to find out. I know it's on Spanish TV, so if you have a dodgy fire stick, you might get it on that. But if not, I'm going to try get one of the boys to go live on my Facebook page, or there'll be something anyway, hopefully.
Definitely, we can't miss this one. But look, Tommy, as always, thanks very much for your time. Obviously, go well this weekend. Get win number 12. And
Yeah.
then, one final thing. What song are you coming out to this weekend? And coming out to the song we were talking about in the group? The Spanish version.
Yeah, I don't know yet. I don't know. I don't know what to come out yet. I Not the last one I came out in Australia anyway, because that's when you hear that song and I walk out, it just does not go like. And I was fuming as well. And do you know what? I was walking to ring, and I was like, I have to forget about this now. And I was like, because your man is going to box it off me here now if I keep thinking about this song. But afterwards, I stopped your man, and I went straight out to my dad. He goes, "That song wrecked my head." He was like, stop being silly now, yeah. But probably some Irish song anyway. Get
No
a
Pink
couple of
Pony
guys
Club
coming
then.
over. Huh?
No Pink Pony Club.
Pink Pony Club. Nah. Do you know what? It's an underrated song, but I wouldn't be coming out to it.
But look, thanks as always for your time. Go and enjoy your coffee, and I'm sure we'll catch up with you very soon.
Hot man, Steve, on the ball, bye.
Cheers,
Cheers.
Tommy. Take care. Thanks.
Thanks, bud.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye. Bye.